got on the air. The Warriors up 3 there late in the game with 6.1 seconds left, and Andrew Wiggins with the foul. And Bradley Beal completes the 4-point play. Damian Lee has a shot at a layup. He throws it away, and the Wizards escape Chase Center with a victory by 3. And the Warriors, all the momentum they built for Tuesday night against the Bucks, they drop a tough one to the Wizards. And welcome to Post Game Live presented by Toyota. Darrell Rice with this NBA champ. We need you, Darrell. Jennifer, we did our thing in the pregame. We need you to carry us after a tough one like that. Let's go start off with the crunch time stats here. You see the crunch time numbers here. The Warriors are going back and forth, back and forth. Highlights. I'm all crossed up here after that one. You see the highlights here. Look, Draymond had a nice pass there, and Robin Lopez really killed the Warriors tonight, Darrell.
Yeah, Robin Lopez is a force down in the paint. I know a lot of people don't expect Robin to go out there and get buckets like that, but he's one of those old school bigs that he plays very well with his back to the basket.
And Jennifer, Bradley Beal got cooking there. Only 3 points at halftime. He finished with 20, and he was the go-to guy for the Wizards down the stretch.
Well, he was, and that's what all-star players like him do, and scorers like him. He's the leading scorer in the league. You don't expect him to stay quiet for 2 halves together. So, great second half for him. I thought it was impressive, though, in the second half, how the Warriors really attacked the rim a lot more. And, to your point about Lopez, I don't think anyone expected the Wizards to win from inside. And there was a tough shot at the end. I mean, that was killer.
Let me ask you, as a former coach, Jennifer, do you foul in that situation? Up 3, knowing that a three-pointer can tie the game.
Absolutely. I was thinking they would foul right away. When you're down 3, I mean, you need to, I hate to question what other coaches are doing, right, Darrell? But it's, you would want to foul. Give him 2 instead of 3.
What happened here, Darrell, with the last play? Draymond looking for Steph, throws the D-Lee in, doesn't go over with it.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking right there. It made me kind of think they were down 3.
That's what, yeah.
And maybe, with the weak side coming over and helping, it probably surprised them going up. So he tried to make the right pass to the corner, but Bradley Beal was right there and ended up being a tough play at the end.
And the Warriors were down 1 in that situation. But go back, as Jennifer said about the three-pointer, you were yelling too. Don't foul, right. Foul there, and the Warriors don't foul. Even though Westbrook, he had a wide open 3, he missed it. Bradley Beal in the right spot gets the offensive rebound. And Andrew Wiggins, who had a solid game tonight, defensively and offensively, commits the foul to a 3-point shooter. You were yelling it too, just like Jennifer, foul in that situation.
Yeah, I think down, up 3, it's the right way. Play a free throw game at the end of the game. It was unfortunate they got the offensive rebound. That's one thing you got to do. You got to secure the rebound. Bradley Beal, right place, right time, and then just an unfortunate foul by Wiggins at the end. You just got to live with Beal making that, taking out of bounds. You got one of the best closers in the game, and Steph Curry to win it for you.
You talked about attacking the paint, Jennifer. Well, the Wizards did that, especially in the first half. Rui Hachimura and Robin Lopez had their way in the paint. They played bully ball, and that was a difference in the game. For the Wizards as they got the victory.
Big difference in the game, and it's, as we did the pregame together, right? That was not the highlight of the pregame.
No.
It was, we're talking about Westbrook and Beal. Those were the 2 main scorers, and they really pounded the ball inside and really took what the Warriors gave them. I don't think our interior defense was, very good tonight. And on the other hand, the Wizards typically are not good defending inside. So I think when the game started to switch too, the Warriors were attacking a lot more.
A combined 42 points for Lopez and Hachimura, and you're right, Jennifer. They were not on our scouting report. No. We're all focused on Beal and Westbrook. Yeah. And Hachimura and Lopez killed them. But one positive here is Steph Curry continues to do what he does. His 5th straight game with at least 30 points. And tonight, 32 points here, 5 assists, 6 rebounds as he's chasing Wilt Chamberlain. He came into tonight's action down 88 points of Wilt Chamberlain. He's climbing up those charts. We may see it on Monday here, but I'm sure Steph Curry, Jennifer, would like to win instead of the accolades here when it comes to chasing Chamberlain.
Oh, I agree. I mean, he's a competitor first and foremost. He's a team player. For as much as he scores, he's thinking about team. And so I think he's taking the losses of the season, et cetera, much harder.
He's a competitor. The individual accolades really don't move him. It's all about teamwork and getting team wins. But not surprised that it's his 5th straight 30-point game at all. I'm pretty sure neither one of you guys are surprised at all.
No, not at all. 56 points now behind Wilt Chamberlain for the all-time scoring lead in Golden State Warriors history. 56 points. He may have that tomorrow against Houston, but it looks like maybe Monday against the Denver Nuggets, he may break that record. And it's really the cherry on top for a remarkable career here. 3 championships, 2 MVPs, and he's doing it by finishing Darrell, hitting the 3. But the way he's finishing at the rim this year has really been impressive.
Steph came in the season way more stronger, way more leaner. way more craftier because once he gets in that paint, man, it's a bucket now. You know, he's taking contact well. He's finishing in different ways, but 56 points next game.
Got it?
Yeah, I think he might get that.
Wow, this is a rocket.
Yeah.
50 burger.
I know, I'm glad you brought up his conditioning because I mentioned that before the game as well. And I think that's one of the things that I'm most impressed with, the difference, that he can finish. He's strong enough. And you played in the NBA, and that's hard. Yes. I mean, to finish like that at his size, too, is incredible.
All right, let's go to Monty Poole, our Warriors insider here at NBC Sports Bay Area, powered by Cisco WebEx. And Monty, you're back at the crib watching this one. And it looked like the Warriors had seized control there. The 4-point play by Bradley Beal, a bad foul by Andrew Wiggins. Damian Lee throws it away. This feels like a brutal loss for the Warriors as they try to gain momentum. And as Steve Kerr keeps saying, it feels like we're going on a run, feels like we're going on a run. But as it has been the case all season, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 1 step forward, 2 step back, and another one here tonight against the Wizards. A tough loss.
Yeah, we've heard Steve and some of the players talk about that run that's going to come, that run that's going to come, and it hasn't come. So the more we watch these games play out, the more it starts to feel a little hollow. Like maybe that run is not going to come. We don't know. I mean, tonight they got crushed by Robin Lopez and Alex Lamb, 35 points between their 2 big men. Who saw that coming? You know, Wiggins did a really good job on Bill most of the night, but the bigs were inside, and Robin Lopez had a night. So there's always something. You know, if it's not too many fouls, it's too few rebounds. If it's not too many three-pointers not going in, it's the other team executing better like they did down the stretch tonight. So you saw the Wizards tonight. And again, they have some talent on that team. You saw them take advantage of the Warriors at the time when they needed to, and the Warriors made some key mistakes down the stretch. So a brutal loss, absolutely. And this is a game they had to have, you would think, with Houston coming in tomorrow. So we'll see where it goes. But, man, oh, man, the season gets tougher and tougher and rougher and rougher.
There's no doubt about it. And you had solid games from James Wiseman, solid games from Kelly Oubre Jr. I thought Wiggins, as you just mentioned, Monty, played well defensively, offensively. Not the best night for him, but 15 points. He'll take it to the bank. What's the missing ingredient for this team right now? What seems to be the one thing that you keep bouncing your head on saying they can't get this right?
Well, the defense. I mean, that's what had them playing decent ball at one point of the season. They were top 5 in the NBA for a while there, and they just haven't refound that. And, Wiggins has played some pretty good defense in stretches, so has Oubre. But as a team, it's been an issue. And Wiseman is a part of the problem because he's still learning how to play defense at the NBA level, especially team defense. And so you all
hard once he comes off the pick and roll, but I think he's doing a great job of being in a dunker spot and just finishing over the top.
Jennifer, you noticed it early on where they're playing James Wiseman. They're giving him room to operate there. And once he starts to figure out and take advantage of that, good luck to the NBA.
Oh, no doubt. And, tonight Lopez a couple times Wiseman's at the three-point line. He's at the free throw line. So I think when he can confidently knock down that wide open three, then he'll be able to attack the rim, I think, from further out a lot easier as well.
And some big fourth quarter minutes from young James Wiseman there. 23 minutes, 18 points, 6 rebounds, and now back-to-back games. One against Milwaukee where he had the double-double in the first half. And tonight, this is something that can help the young man grow more confidently. We'll see him tomorrow night against the Houston Rockets. Also, Kelly Oubre Jr. He had a big fourth quarter against Milwaukee with some big threes. And tonight in the Kelly Oubre Jr. revenge game, don't forget he was drafted by the Washington Wizards, played with Bradley Beal. He had a solid night, Darrell.
Hey, it's nothing like playing against your old team. I've been there, so I think he's been doing a great job of doing a lot of this, attacking the basket.
I think that bust his elbow.
Yeah, he scared me. He scared me. But I think he's doing a great job of mixing it up. When his shot isn't falling, he's going to the basket. He's cutting hard, but tonight we've seen him be able to knock down a few threes around the perimeter, but I think he's been playing some great basketball.
Well, me too, and I think when he can knock down those open threes, it makes the driving lanes just that much easier, right? Because defense has to play him tight. And he's been playing consistently well, and when he plays like this, generally it ends up as a win. It didn't tonight, especially when he can play off Steph like that.
No doubt about it. A tough loss. We're going to hear from Steve Kerr here in just a second as we take a look at the scoreboard from tonight's game. And the Warriors, look, their bench. I know they didn't score much, only 14 points, but they did have that 16-6 run to start the fourth quarter to get the Warriors back in it and take a lead. And just lose there with the 4-point play by Bradley on what happened there in the last 6 seconds of a tough loss to the Washington
competitor.
Wizards.
The end of
obviously, Steve, it's a game of inches, and so many things were wrong. I guess in the last few possessions. How frustrating of a loss is that when it was right there in your fingertips?
Yeah, 3-point lead. with under 20 seconds to go, you got to close that game out. And obviously, Beal made a huge shot, and then we just couldn't convert. On the next play. So tough loss. It's always 48 minutes that matter. So it's not just one play. It's a whole series of plays. It felt to me like we weren't ready to go in the first half. We just played a very poor first half, defensively especially, and we didn't pick up our energy until second half. And even though we controlled the second half and took the lead and had a chance to win, those 24 minutes in the first half, I thought came back and bit us.
Steve, I don't know if you saw the look on Damian Lee's face, but what did you think about the split second decision making at the end?
Well, it's a tough play. He's got an opening, but he's got a guy coming over to block the shot, so he knows there's a 2-on-1 on the backside. So you got two shooters on the backside, and if he can deliver the pass, then sure, that's the right play. But I've been there. It's a very frustrating position to be in, when you have a play at the end and it doesn't work out. So, we're all going to lose sleep tonight. I'll lose sleep. I'm sure Damian will. I'm sure all the guys will. It's a really, really tough loss, but we gotta bounce back. We got another game tomorrow night.
The Beal three was kind of off a scramble situation, but was there any thought at all to fouling up three, at the start of that possession?
Well, there were I think 19 seconds at the start, and so we did not want to foul at that point. It's we usually do it later in the clock, kind of under 10. But that offensive rebound obviously killed us, and so yeah, there are a lot of things that went wrong, and that was one of them.
This has kind of been a season of there's been late games, losses for you guys. I can think about the Charlotte one and a few others. How much when you're thinking about this season, do you think about some of those late game moments?
Yeah, they all hurt. This has just been a rough go in many ways. It feels like there are 4 or 5 games that we've left out there that we could have or should have won, and there's not a whole lot we can do about that now. So we got 20 games to go, and we got to pick ourselves up and come right back tomorrow night.
Steve, how bad did their bigs hurt you? Lopez and Lynn come on for 35 points. It looked like they had their way inside.
Yeah, in the first half especially, Monty, our defense was terrible. It was terrible. And that was the big issue in the first half, our lack of energy. We weren't pulling over from the weak side. We weren't playing with aggression. We weren't playing with any physicality. And Lopez in particular really killed us. We did a much better job on him in the second half.
Do you think that some of your guys are having an issue threading the needle between physicality and fouling or not fouling?
No, I thought for the most part we did a good job of defending without fouling tonight. 24 free throws is not a huge number. It's it's kind of a solid number, and obviously the one at the end hurt, but it happens. But I thought the fouling was not the issue tonight. Just overall lack of aggressiveness in terms of our weak side defense in the first half was really the problem.
I know it's not really kind of a night for positives, but that second unit at the start of the fourth, I think we're down 6, and handed it back to Steph up 4. Do you feel like you're finding maybe a little bit of a rhythm with that group?
Well, I hope so, Anthony. They did a great job. They came out and hit Washington with a quick 6-0 run to force the timeout, and we were in pretty good shape. As you said, when we turned the game over, to our closers, and we just couldn't quite get it done.
Following up on that question about the bench, you've talked a lot about the importance of combinations and figuring those correct pairings out. What about this second unit do you think complements each other nicely to be able to string together strong minutes?
Well, we've got a good pick and roll combination with Jordan and James. James scores the ball pretty well, with that unit because of the spacing with D. Lee playing at the 4 and Bays and either Andrew or Kelly. So the group complements each other pretty well.
Welcome back to Warriors Post Game Live, presented by Toyota. Bonta Hill, Jennifer Azzi, Darrell Wright, and we're going to take a look at that last play with Damian Lee. Draymond Green at the top of the key, looking for a cutter. Steph coming off a curl here. Darrell, explain what you see here.
Well, I see from the go a great play, a great last-minute situation. D. Lee cutting hard. Maybe we should have went up strong and just lived with going to the free throw line and trying to tie the game and go up one right there. But that's a tough one right there.
That is a tough one. And even though he did have 2 shooters on the backside, Wiseman probably should have cut also. I mean, they all should have been, I think, going towards the rim because, when you're down 1, you want to get
down 1 there. Draymond Green looking for the quick bucket, and the Warriors lose this game. Let's look at Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook here because we talked a lot about them, Jennifer, in the pregame show. But Russell Westbrook, he got his triple-double, 21 on the season. Now 14 behind Oscar Robertson for the most triple-doubles, or the tied for the most triple-doubles in NBA history. Bradley Beal was really quiet, 3 points in the first half, but he started cooking and percolating there in the fourth quarter. And you see what they end up with. But the story, as we talk about these two guys, and they were obviously on the Scotty Report, Warriors double Bradley Beal hard early in this game. It was the bigs that killed the Warriors, Robin Lopez and Rui Hachimura.
We didn't predict it, did we?
We did.
No. But Westbrook and Beal, they did their thing, maybe not scoring as much as they normally would, but they played solid. And especially, Beal being the top scorer in the league, has 17 in the second half, which is pretty appropriate for him. But they got the ball inside and, we're killing us in the paint.
Man, but the thing about those two guys, those are some of the most competitive backcourt in the league. And it don't matter how the game is going, they're going to stay cool. They're going to find ways to get their teammates open and get shots. And at the end of the game, they find ways to, hit big shots.
Combined 20 assists between Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. And Alex Len, I can forget about him, a former first-round pick. He had 15 points and 5 rebounds. So that's my math here between Lopez, Hachimura, Alex Len. That's 57 points between those 3. I don't think anybody saw that coming.
No, I don't think so. But, credit to them for taking what the Warriors gave them. I mean, they really exposed kind of possibly the wrong game plan at this point, just because we're seeing what we're seeing. But I don't think anyone expected this, Darrell.
I didn't see it coming, but you could see throughout the game they were taking advantage. It was like they were going off the scouting report. The Warriors are a little bit smaller inside, not as physical, not as strong. So they found those bigs rolling and they finished over the top of guys.
Your boy Westbrook feeling good right now.
Hey man, losing your legend, baby. Losing your legend.
Another triple-double for Russell Westbrook, 14 as we look around the NBA, and man, guys were lighting it up across the league. Zach LaVine went off in the first half tonight, scoring 39 of his 50 points in the first half alone against Atlanta. In the last 25 years, only Kobe Bryant in 2003 and Klay Thompson in 2016 have scored more points in the first half. Bulls lose, though, 120 to 108. So 50 burger wasted. But the high score of the night goes to Jason Tatum. As you see LaVine there with the step back 3. Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics. This kid is special, Darrell and Jennifer, out of Duke, of course, from St. Louis. Drops a career high 53 in an overtime win against the Minnesota Timberwolves. 18 of his 53 came in the fourth quarter in overtime. This kid has so much talent. He's tall, he's athletic, he's got handle, he's a 3-level scorer. Look at this, Jennifer. Oh, to the rack. Wow. Give me that.
Oh, he can do it all. And, you do like to see a 50-point effort turn into a win.
Yes,
so a little better turnout for him, but so impressive, Darrell.
Definitely impressive. Jason Tatum, I watched him at LeBron James camp. He plays exactly the same way he did in high school, all the Kobe moves. So to see him score like this and do, have these good games like this, not surprising at all. He is a buquito.
He's a buquito. I like that, a buquito. And he's trying to help the Boston Celtics get into the playoffs. Zach LaVine, though, let's go back to that first game because 39 in the first half.
Yes.
Like, Jennifer, we were looking at Zach, our producer, was like, hey, Zach LaVine has 39 in the first half. What's going on there in Chicago? But you lose a game like that. So what does it feel? I'll start with you, Darrell. How does it feel to score 40, 50 and then get the loss? Like, can you enjoy it?
Really can't enjoy it. You know, probably in a few weeks, a few months, you're going to go back on YouTube, check out your highlights. But it's always better when you win a game, you know, scoring like that, especially 50 points. That's a milestone in this league. So it's definitely going to be a tough one.
Jennifer, what's your high score?
48.
48. You got the dub?
We won.
Okay.
I was playing overseas, so nobody saw it. There was no social media or anything. But, yeah, it was fun, though. The basket was huge.
Oh, man, 48. Yeah. Career high.
What about you?
7 in the CYO game.
Okay.
7 points, baby. Single digits. Let's go. Tweet courtesy of Warriors PR, Steph Curry passed Magic Johnson tonight.
Wow.
Magic Johnson for 81st place on the NBA's all-time scoring list. And Steph Curry, of course, chasing Wilt Chamberlain. He was 88 points going into it. Behind Wilt Chamberlain, scored 32 tonight. 56 behind Wilt as we bring in Kareth Burke, powered by Cisco WebEx. And Kareth, we're going to get into the bits in just a second here, but that's a tough one. How do you put your finger on this one? Can you explain? Because we're having trouble up here on the panel.
Well, Bonte, your deep sigh is my deep sigh. And actually, I was thinking back to the last game, after the Bucks game, Steph Curry was really cautious about celebrating that win. And I noticed the same thing from Draymond yesterday. He's like, we can't call that Bucks win a turning point if we don't build on it. And the Warriors weren't ready to build on it today. They came out flat in the first quarter. That means they're playing from behind, and they simply can't do that this season. It's a lot harder to win the games. Their firepower is not the same. The bench is not the same to help them out in certain moments. In fact, the bench only had 6 points total heading into the fourth quarter. All of those 6 points were from Damian Lee. And let's talk about Damian Lee, because I will never forget the look on his face. He was gutted when he made, that split-second decision to pass up the shot, and it ended up being a turnover. He was in the game. He subbed into the game because they wanted shooters on the floor. He came in for Looney with about 6 seconds left, and then just that decision will be second-guessed to oblivion. But it's a shame the Warriors squandered away another one. Steve Kerr said this kind of stuff hurts, and we've heard that for 4 or 5 or 6 games this season, and these are the games that are really going to hurt when it comes to tallying up that playoff column. Not enough wins for the Warriors right now, and not enough time, it feels like, either, Bonte.
Yeah, no doubt about that. No momentum to build off of that Bucks win where Curry drops 41, scores 32 tonight. But the Warriors, as you mentioned, get the loss of 14 bench points. They've got to get more from the bench there. And Jordan Poole has been struggling. Kareth, good evening and have a good night. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you tomorrow here. In the last play, we keep pinpointing that, but the Wiggins foul. He missed 2 free throws there late in the fourth quarter. And when you play from behind all game long, things like that catch up to you, right, Jennifer?
Oh, absolutely. And I totally agree with Kareth. I mean, they started so flat. It was as if they weren't ready to play. And, you heard Steph in interviews after the last game. He wanted to bottle up what they had from the Minnesota game and take it with them, because that mentality and that mindset really set the tone in the last game.
Yeah, I thought this would have been a great game to build off of, that carryover we always talk about, beating a good Milwaukee Bucks team, coming here playing against a team that's, not doing well as well. But I would definitely say this, the Wizards aren't what their records say. They're a way better team. Yeah. They're a way better team, but I felt like this was a great opportunity. They've been doing it all season, beating the teams that they should beat, and they failed to do that tonight. And I know this one right here definitely hurts.
Well, and I think too, when you get into these situations, everything matters. Yep. Free throw percentage tonight wasn't very good. You take a couple of those more free throws, or you get another rebound, or the margins are pretty small. But again, I don't know that I would have said this is winnable in that sense. I mean, the Wizards record definitely does not show their strength.
14 and 21 from the free throw line, to your point. Warriors shoot 66% from the charity stripe, but who didn't shoot 66% on this night? Our guy, Darrell Wright, back in 2014, baby. He was struggling early on, baby, but let's flash it back. Look at my guy, D. Wright, in the Portland uniform against the Sacramento Kings from the corner. Leave it up there, D. Wright.
Gotta leave it, baby.
Leave it up there. What you remember about that night?
Just the fact that I was terrible the whole game, and Coach Stotts came to me like, man, you think you hit a shot? And I was like, come on, man. I was already 0 for 3, so this right here, I think I was 1 for 4, but my boy Dame Dollar found me in the corner, and Nicholas Batum told me, he was like, I knew that was going in.
There you go. And the motor center going crazy. You see D. Wright leaving it up there, Jennifer?
Yeah.
That was
For the
nice.
corner?
That was nice.
Thank you.
You know, but sometimes isn't it better to maybe be off a little bit than on and miss that last shot? Like you hit it when it counted. That's the right thing to do.
Thank you, man. I was so happy I made that shot. I'm like, man, I'm stinking it up all night.
You had the high top going, too. Look at D. Wright with the hair, baby.
I'm a trendsetter, man. There's a lot of these young kids doing what I did a few years ago.
That is true.
It makes you realize how much you miss fans, too. Like, seeing how excited everybody was and that energy. Just in us being at the Chase Center tonight, you can feel it's good, but once they have the energy of the fans back, I think that's going to help a lot, too.
April 23rd, when Chase Center will allow up to 35% of the fans to come in and watch a game. We cannot wait for that. But we got to talk about your former coach, Tara Vanderveer. She's going to join us tomorrow right here on Warriors Pregame Live. And she's going to talk about the national championship. Stanford beating Arizona in the Natty Championship, night of national title game, beating Arizona for the third time this season, beating a tough South Carolina team. And I know they stress a lot of people out there, everybody affiliated with the Stanford Cardinal, but Tara gets it done, her third Natty, first in 29 years. Cannot wait for that discussion. And I know have you shared any texts with her so far? Tell me what those conversations have been like.
Oh, yeah. Just, I texted her, and my first text was, holy turnovers. And then, but then it was like, congratulations, you're the best coach ever. And which she is in my mind. It's not because I played for her. She's brilliant. And, I just think for her to be successful this many years at that level is nearly impossible. And so while people may say, oh, this is the first national championship in X number of years, well, how many Final Fours?
Right.
And how much success has she had? So we went back and forth a little bit, but I'm really excited to talk to her on air tomorrow. I'm excited for you guys to speak with her, too.
Yeah, I'm excited, too. And I'm going to ask her. I got to ask her. You took that so humbly.
Yeah.
If that's a word.
Yeah.
No excitement. She was just like,
Hey, Darrell, we would be dancing.
Oh, man.
Give me all the confetti angels. And Tara's just looking.
She was cold as ice.
This is great. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, but I know, and I think her personality is she has this view of what perfect looks like or what winning looks like. And winning isn't always about beating the other team, right? It's about playing your best. And Arizona definitely out-hustled them. And I think that was, they kind of squeaked out of there because Arizona's defense was amazing. But Stanford didn't, I don't think, play at the level that she would have wanted them at. But they're national champions, so you still want to throw the ball up and, get excited.
It was good enough to win a national championship. So
Yes.
we'll talk to Tara tomorrow evening here on Warriors Pregame Live. Let's go back to Chase Center and hear from Fitz and Buki on tonight's loss to the Wizards.
So the Warriors played 3 really good quarters of basketball, but it was the first quarter where they got down 9 that they were uphill the whole rest of the game, lose by 3, and the key, Coletta, to not have this game leak into tomorrow night against the Rockets.
Oh, definitely. And it's interesting, at the beginning of the fourth quarter, that group actually did a really good job. Giving the Warriors the lead there. They're just unable to close it out. Bradley Beal struggled the whole night, and it's really unfortunate for Andrew Wiggins because he played such a smart defensive game the whole night, really making it tough, everything tough on Bradley Beal. And then he fouls there at the end and then gives up the 4-point play. Listen, Fitz, I agree with you. I think you should definitely foul there when you're down 3. And they were obviously thinking we're not going to foul and trust our defense, and it really backfired. And then Damian Lee, usually he's ready for his moment. He's ready for his opportunity to hit a big shot, maybe a game winner, and this time he passed it up. This is one that I think is really going to hurt.
Also, too, you look at the Warriors, they were 0 for 8 on threes in the fourth quarter. And at some point, you got to hit a big shot because these were open threes and just nobody stepped to the floor to make one.
And that's the other unfortunate part. Like, they were creating some open shots, like you're saying, off of just great action. Steph was getting into the paint. 2 defenders go with Steph. The defense is collapsing, and you're wide open if you're Andrew Wiggins a bunch tonight. You just weren't able to knock it down. And a lot of times, that's the big difference in the game. You just got to make those shots. Listen, this is going to hurt, but you got another one tomorrow. You got an opportunity to bounce back. I'm sure after a game like this, these are the kind of games where you go, man, I want to play right away. I want to play again tonight if we can. They can't play tonight. They got to play tomorrow. But you got to expect a sense of urgency tomorrow for them.
Yeah, and the thing is, you always hear about effort. The Warrior effort was fine. but at some point you have to execute. And if you're up 3 in your own building in the final 15 seconds, you need to win that game. And when you have the greatest free thrower in the history of the game, you just foul and play the foul game until the game expires. So letting Washington shoot a 3 there, that proved to be a problem. The Warriors will pay for it. But I think it is good that they play tomorrow night. But this is a Rocket team that just beat Dallas. And so the look-aheads don't work for the Warriors right now. They have been at 500 or below for a reason, and that's because they're going to win about as much as they lose. They stole one from Milwaukee, and Washington stole one from them tonight.
When you're 24-28 and you're 4 games under 500, you have 20 left, you can't afford to look ahead, right? I mean, Fitz and Pookie just talked about it. So looking ahead to tomorrow night, because you see Houston here on the back-to-back at home, what are the players doing right now to get ready for that game? Are they having a meeting? Are they kind of sitting there saying, hey, we let one get away? What's that vibe like in the locker room right now, Darrell?
It's not good. You know, you just played a great game against Milwaukee. You came back, you fought, and then you come out here against a Washington team, you come out flat. The sense of urgency wasn't there because you see some games ahead that you can build on. So it's one of those games where the leaders stand up and say, hey, guys, we got to do a lot better. And I think that's what they need to do moving forward these last 20 games.
Well, and I think, too, like as a coach, you always want to be positive. And, you know, and I think Steve has been trying to do that with saying, we're going to go on a run. I know it's going to happen. But you almost shouldn't speak in terms of runs. It should literally be game, especially when a team is struggling. Just take it game by game. Don't think about the playoffs right now. Have that in. Obviously, that's always a motivation. Right. But literally in the NBA, anything can happen. So I think it's just that game by game mindset. And as best the guys can do, I would guess, is just sort of put this one behind them and get ready for tomorrow night and really control what you can. Box out, rebound, defend, do all those little things.
Warriors, for the second time this week, they win 3 quarters of the game, 3 of the 4 quarters, and still lose. Sunday against Atlanta, they won 3 of the quarters, they lose the game. Tonight, they win 3 quarters.